actually ever presented a design you love only for the client to say something like, "I'm not feeling it," and your only response was, "But it looks nice"? If I've ever find yourself explaining your work by saying, "Oh, I like this, I think this is cool," then you've already actually given the wrong answer to the question. It doesn't actually look like you're defending design. It looks more like you're defending your ego. To be a strategist, you need a framework that makes your design feel like an inevitability, not an option. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you a framework that you can use to sell your design work. I am Devra, a brand and graphics designer, and on this channel I try to keep it real about design, freelancing, and share bits from my experience as a designer running a business, and I hope you find this helpful. So one of the awkward moments in a design career is when a client asks a question like, "Why did you choose this font?" And you say something like, "Oh, I just thought it might look cool on the design." I've seen as you say that you have invited the client to play the game of subjective option, and in that game the person paying the bills actually always wins. You actually want to stop being just a person holding the mouse and the laptop designing. You have to stop getting all defensive about to work and start presenting it. And the problem is most of us designers fall into the "I like it" trap, in which when you use subjective language, you invite the client to use subjective language. If you say, "I like this blue," they feel entitled to say, "I hate this blue." So you need to shift that conversation from just aesthetics to objectives. You are not a decorator that just makes things fine. You are also a problem solver. And this framework, the PEE framework, actually makes this happen. Now, the PEE framework starts for point, evidence, and explain. So for the point, you want to focus on the what, which states clearly what you did. So you want to be clear with that. So it could be something like, the first thing you will notice is that we use the high contrast serif typography for the headings. The goal you want to have in mind at this point is to state the design choice clearly without any jargon. Don't ask if they like it, just state what it is. And the next point on the framework is E, which is the evidence. Focus on the why, the strategy, the research. So as a designer, you are not just designing, you are also doing research along with it. So you want to connect the choice used in a design back to the discovery section or the business goals you both agreed on earlier. Now, for that, could be something like, during our discovery call, while we were discussing, you mentioned that your primary goal was to establish heritage and authority to compete with older established firms. Now, by saying this, you're actually tying the choice back to their words and back to their business goals. You are holding up a mirror to their own strategy. And last on the frame is E, explain, in which we are focusing on the so what and the result. So we want to show the bridge of how the points satisfy the evidence, something like that. So you could say something like, because of this, the serif typeface creates an immense sense of establishment that helps the user trust your expertise before they even read a word of the copy. Now, by saying this, your goal is to explain the psychological or business results of the choice. Realistic examples with this framework in mind could be something like, for example, layout or the white space. The points could be, we increase the margins and reduce the amount of text on the home page. And the evidence would be, the success metric we defined was reducing the bounce rate on the mobile. And the explain would be, by simplifying the visual hierarchy, we reduce cognitive load, making it easier for the user to find the sign up button in under 3 seconds. So that's an example you could use as a designer. And for instance, if you want to put into consideration typography, the points could be something like, shows a bold sans serif typeface for the headlines. And the evidence would be, you note that your dream client is the Gen Z tech founder who values speed and efficiency. And you explain it by saying, the typeface communicates digital first and no nonsense, which align your visual voice with your audience values. Now, those are two real life examples of how you can put this framework into action depending on the type of designer that you are. Now, a powerful move you want to use is the objective mirror. When you use the strategy as a shield, you never have to take feedback personally again. If a client says, "I just don't like the color green," don't defend the color green. Mirror it back to the strategy. So a strategist response will be, "That's fair. Let's look back at our goal of eco-friendly and sustainable. If you move away from green, which other color do you feel communicates sustainability more effective to your customers?" By saying that, now it's not you versus the client, it's the client versus the strategy, and you are just the facilitator. And if you're feeling like, okay, how do I handle bad feedback? When a client says something like, can we make the logo bigger? Or I don't like the color red. An amateur can just get all defensive, but a strategist asks a question. So you could say something like, well, that's interesting. If we make the logo larger, it will take the focus away from the call to action we talk about. And for this design, is the priority really brand awareness or lead generation? Now, this method kind of works because you aren't just saying no. You are forcing them to actually choose between their visual win and their business goal. So when you present using the PEE framework, you stop being an amateur looking for a thumbs up and start being a consultant, a strategic partner that delivers a solution. Your work stops being pretty and starts being effective. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and sharing everything I've learned about the business of design right now. And there are many more content for you to watch and many more to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.